Inner Voice, a heartfelt chat with Dr. Foojan.
Yes, and people at one point in my life, people was always asking me, what is the secret of your 36-year marriage? And now we're going on 43.
Introducing a powerful new update from the Foojan app. Now with flexible subscription plans to fit your journey monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Our new AI-driven onboarding customizes your path to feeling better, faster, and enjoy a refreshed experience with stunning 3D interactive videos. Update now. Empower your inner voice with Foojan. Download today.
Welcome to the Inner Voice Heartfelt Chat podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Foojan Zeine, psychotherapist and author and the creator of the Awareness Integration Theory. I'm so thrilled to have you join us today, which I'm positive you're going to enjoy our conversation today with Natasha Richburg. She is a retired information technologist for the federal government, preacher and motivational speaker. She's an adjunct professor of the University of Maryland in Baltimore County for over 23 years, and she's the author of numerous books for youth and young adults from all walks of life. Natasha Richburg is passionate about her call to bring forth illustrations in her book that allow the reader to find a reflection of peace in the middle of life's chaos and storm. Mrs. Richburg has an MBA from Morgan State University, MIS from Johns Hopkins University, and is currently an ABD in the Morgan State University Education Doctor Program. So today we're going to be actually talking about her book, People Ask. That's the name of the book. People Ask. What is the secret of her 36 years of marriage? She's funny, she's articulate, she's amazing. We had a lot of fun. And there's so much of just jewels, amazing jewels in this conversation. And I really enjoyed her energy, her humor, her fun, and then yet so wise. And coming from her life, she shares her life story and her marriage and what she's learned from it, and everything she's learned so far. She's going to be sharing it with you. So be sure to listen to this beautiful, the whole conversation. Now, also be sure to subscribe to my podcast, this one, give it a evaluation, go to the YouTube channel, go to the podcast channel, and Apple and Google, wherever you are, and rate it, please, and connect with me through all of my websites, FoojanZeine.com, awarenessintegration.com, all of those, or any of my social media. Go check out the app, Foojan app, which also has Mira, which is a AI chatbot, which is trained in the awareness integration. The whole Foojan app is about awareness integration, takes you through this guided journaling, and we get 70 to 75% satisfaction in life. Anyone who's done even one area. So please go check it out. Share your thoughts with me, connect with me, and I love hearing from you. And without further ado, here's Natasha Richburg.
Listen up if you want to promote your personal growth and self-awareness. I found the Foojan app last month and I have been absolutely loving it. I personally have never learned guided meditation, but thanks to this app, I now have learned incredible tools for my own stress relief and emotional self-awareness. Not to mention, there are self-evaluation tools and professional coaching available to utilize however your journey to self-discovery takes you. Join Foojan today and redefine your life one step at a time.
Intentional Parenting, a practical guide to awareness integration theory, written by Dr. Jafari, Dr. Foojan Zeine, and Dr. Manoukian, 3 experts in human development, is your step-by-step guide to raising a healthy child prepared for a culturally integrated world. You're supported in parenting infants to adolescents using the latest evidence-based scientific research on parenting. Order your copy on Amazon now.
Well, it's such a joy to have you with us, Natasha Richburg. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's so wonderful to be here. I love it.
Awesome. So you have a book that says people ask. So obviously, people ask you a lot of questions.
Yes. And people at one point in my life, people was always asking me, what is the secret of your 36-year marriage? And now we're going on 43.
Wow. So how did you do it?
You know what? The blessing that I didn't know at the time is I was raised by a mother that didn't like me.
Hmm.
And I learned how to navigate that in such a way. She loved me, but she really didn't like me. So I learned to just actually navigate life in such a way that it gave me patience in marriage that I don't think some people would have. And so I always said when things went wrong, was his intent to hurt me? It was always no. If I give him a chance to fix it, will he try? It was always yes. And in trying, did I do my part? It took me a minute to figure out how to let him, but it's yes. So when did we start really coming together like a real team? It took 15 years.
Wow.
And most people think it takes 15 minutes. But the patience I learned from my upbringing allowed me to be patient in that relationship.
That's a beautiful way of putting that, because I know that, in my world of psychotherapy, a lot of times we look at how we were raised and kind of put that as the blame of what I'm doing right now. And what I love hearing from you is the way I learned and the way that my mother knew how to, and the way that I kind of survived, my mother and upbringing, that really became a strength. I looked at the resilience, the strength, the patience, the endurance that I actually had to learn growing up, and put that to use in my marriage. And that's how it actually worked.
Right. And one of the things I didn't know until I started doing a lot of interviews, this is crazy. I was raised by a single parent, but my father had access to my brother and I. And he pretty much left us sitting on the sidewalk a lot. So I learned a person is just who they are, accept them for who they are, and do you, boo. And that's what it taught me. So that heartbreak associated with it, that mad associated with it, by 21, I was over it. I was so over it. I was telling one of my life coach clients today that at my graduation from college, I didn't think anybody was going to come. So I just had it in my mind. I was just going out there with my little wrinkled robe by myself. And my roommate said, you will not go out there with a wrinkled robe. And she on my robe. And I was surprised that they came. And so with life, I never expected much. I didn't realize I had a single parent. I just didn't. I know now because I saw my father and he pretty much wasn't there like he should be. But at the point in my life when my mother refused to help me go to college, he came through.
But what you're saying also, Natasha, is that you didn't have a sense of entitlement. It was just whatever was given to you was, okay, it is. I'll see it. I'll take it. I'll eat it. I'll be with it. And then just went along and didn't hold a lot of entitlement expectations.
You know what? That is so it. And that's what I did wrong with my children. I made them entitled without knowing it. And I called myself giving them the hard life. I thought I was giving them the hard life, but it wasn't hard enough. And my husband kept saying, you spoiled them. I said, how? I didn't give them no phone. I didn't give them no TV. They didn't go everywhere they want. They had this regimen in the family life, but they did feel entitled. I didn't know, and I didn't. That's a good word. Perfect word. I'm going to use that word all year. My word for this year is accomplished. I feel accomplished.
Awesome. Now you do have another sentence that says, turn into the spin.
Yes.
What is that? What is it, turn into the spin?
It's so funny. Growing up, I loved to watch NASCAR driving. And I would sit there for hours. And when your car starts spinning, to make it go straight, you have to turn into it and it'll straighten up. Well, When I met my coach in high school, she asked me to come out for the team. I met girls that were college bound. I asked my mother, could I go to college? She said no. I asked my mother, could she pay for the SAT? She paid for it because she thought it was something else. When I got my acceptance letter, she said no.
Why?
Because she wanted me to work and not go to college. So I kept turning into the spin. So I said, if I work full time and go to college at night, will you let me? She says, as long as I don't drive you. And then I said, okay. So I got free friends who I paid to take me. And one day, all three of them had to work and I had a test and I had to go. So I asked her to take me and I said, please, Lord, let her take me. And she took me. So I sat real still in the car, real still, praying. She wouldn't put me out. And she took me. I took my test. I passed. And then when I got in the car, she said, I can't do this anymore because I wasn't going to stop. She says, I will sign a loan so you can go to college. And she says, well, where do you want to go? Frostburg. I turned into the spin. And that came from in high school. My counselor told me I was too dumb to go. Wow. So like that. And girl, when she told me I was too dumb, them tears was coming down. She had me a tissue. I refused to wipe them. And I turned into the spin. And then my mother said, no, I turned into the spin.
Wow. So it's accepting what's in front of you and moving toward it versus resisting it.
Because in NASCAR, they tell you, when your car goes out of control, you don't turn the other way because you'll flip. You got to turn into the spin. So
that is cool. That is true.
So if I start to spin, I turn into it. It straightens right up. So in life, if somebody tells me no, I lean into it.
Because one of the things that it's so interesting that a lot of our misery, my own, and then being a therapist for 32 years, I really, really capture that a lot of our misery comes from resisting what is in front of us.
Right.
Right. Instead of, like you said, turn into the spin. And turning into the spin doesn't mean just like fold and, lie there and take it. It just means stop the resisting. Stop resisting it, move into it, flow with it, and then, get out of where you need to get out of. And that really, really takes a lot of the suffering around the issues away, because everything we do, it takes the effort anyway. And it's like, why do you need to suffer on top of the effort that you have to make?
Right. Exactly. And one of the things, the good thing, once the counselor told me I was done, because keep in mind, I never told you the whole story, but the girls on the basketball team, they told me they was going to college and they said, are you going? I'm like, yeah, I didn't even know what college was. Nobody had ever mentioned it to me. I may be 10. So they told me to take the SAT. I did. They told me to go to the counselor. She told me I was too dumb. So when I started to go, I knew not to take regular English. I took below English because I knew I was too dumb. I knew not to take regular math. I took below math because I did all below things. By the time I got to my degree, honey, I was like, on it, smart. Oh my God. I didn't even know I was smart till I was 42. But now that I'm looking back, I was smart and just didn't know it.
Very smart. And you didn't know it?
I didn't know it. I didn't know it until my mentor told me. I was 42.
Well, the point is that although you thought you're not smart enough, your wisdom was with you.
Yes.
Your wisdom in every angle was with you. The wisdom of turn into the spin, the wisdom of let me survive the game of what is and do the best that I can. The wisdom of, I kind of know what I want, and regardless of who says what, I'm going to, try to get what I want. And you did. You created resources for yourself. You listened to people who shared with you what the path was, and you moved forward. Now you talk about whisper. Is that what the whisper is? Is that the wisdom?
Oh no, girl, you're going to go there. I have God whispers.
What's whisper?
So for example, this is a good whisper. I was paying a couple $1,000s a month for my children's student loans, right? I got this letter in the mail saying it was going to go up to 3,000. And I was like, God wouldn't do this unless he wanted me to do something different. So I didn't see that as the outcome. I saw it as a whisper. I just did my research, found out I had a load of money and paid off that $200,000 bill, which I wouldn't have known to do if I didn't get the whisper.
Explain more. I want to know what the whisper is.
The whisper tells you, for example, it was a guy who did somebody wrong that was ducking me. It was a day I was fasting, and I heard a whisper saying, go to the cafeteria. I'm like, I am fasting. I'm not going to tempt myself with no food. The whisper say, just go to the daggone cafeteria and get a cup of water. I went to the cafeteria. The guy that was ducking me was there. He'd been ducking me for 18 months. Whisper.
There's an intuitive voice internally that gives you clues. It gives you to-dos. It tells you what to do. And then you hear it and you listen to it and then you act on it.
And sometimes it's not a voice, it's an action. For example, everybody gets this whisper. You know how you follow the GPS and it takes you to the wrong place? That's a whisper. You're going to need that place later in life. You note where you went, why you went, and when you need it, it's going to be easy to get there. You never go to any place by mistake. It's a whisper. People ignore their whispers.
And how do you know it's real? How do you know it's not just the hallucination? How do you know it's just not, your brain playing trick on you or whatever?
Because as you get older, you kind of know which ones came true, which ones different. Another whisper. When Melvin and I got married, we were married 4 years before we had children on purpose. We weren't trying to have no babies. We was trying to save up our money to buy a house. So we bought our first house. It was a nice 4-bedroom on a 1/4 acre. I wanted a 5-bedroom, 2-acre. And I knew I was going to get it. I kept studying about it, doing about it. One day I was at a cookout, a real estate agent said, I got the perfect house for you. So it was 4 bedrooms and 2.5 acres. When we came here, the builder say, if you get it today, we'll add another bedroom. Whisper.
There's an intuitive sense that gives you a message or takes you into a place where you weren't really looking for. And you're saying that instead of dismissing it or thinking it's bad or wrong, turn into the spin, move with it, kind of see, use your wisdom, but move with it and know that it has the right message for you, or it's leading you somewhere, or it's good for you, or there's something in that message that you need to see.
Right. Like I have one son who always got in trouble. Boy, you know how a child give you gray hair. He's my gray hair. And so when he would get in trouble, I would make him write Psalm 51 from the Bible all over. 3-4 times. First day, English literature in the 12th grade, they did Psalm 51 as literature.
Mm-hmm.
How did I?
Yeah. How did you use the whisper in your marriage?
Oh, so many things. I would say if you was in my life, you would hate me. For instance, one day I told Melvin, my son was going to get hit by a car. You got to really watch him. You got to watch him. I kept calling home. He said, he out front. We got a lot of grass. I said, you got to watch him. He called me a half an hour later. Helicopter flew him to Johns Hopkins. He got hit by a car. Yeah. I knew it. I knew it. I just knew it. Sometimes they don't pay me any attention. Then they knew it. One time my son was going to visit people at college. I said, they set you up, man. They trying to steal your stuff. He said, oh, they're nice. I said, please leave your stuff at home. He did. The only thing he took was a little electronic game. They stole it. And now when I say something, they just like, okay, they just listen to me.
But Natasha, are you saying that every one of us has this and we just have to listen?
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, I got this weird gift that I have and others, but you're saying that everyone has that intuitive sense, and that if they just kind of like be aware of it and wisely be with it, that it could really open up a lot of things for them. Just, like just be with it and take it, and you'll know that which one is serious, because in experience, you'll get to know the voice, you'll get to see what the whisper is, and then you'll move forward with it.
That's why everybody, except for the guys, I don't make them do it as much. But when I have females, I make everybody journal. And I say, even if you don't feel like journal, right? I don't feel like it. If you just want to put an X, if they journal for 2 straight weeks, they will read their journals with me and I'll tell them what it said. And they wrote it. I didn't write it. And they just don't know how to read their own whispers.
And how do you learn how to read your own whisper?
I think because I was raised up so terrible. I think if I didn't have to hide away to cry, wonder why me, I learned not to say why me, say what am I supposed to learn from this? Most people go, why me? I say, what am I supposed to learn? That changes the thinking. And then you learn what you're supposed to learn.
Again, the sense of entitlement is not there. You get it. There are things in front of me and I got to figure out how to move forward. It's up to me. It's up to me to move versus I'm sitting here and expecting the world to give it to me.
Oh, because I know the world's not going to give it to me.
Thank you.
I know, but I know the world's telling me. And I don't care what people's religious belief, the world talks to everybody. They just don't know how to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And I do. I do.
And if you were going to teach our audience how to listen, what would be some of the steps that you have learned so that you want to share with people how to listen?
Journal. If you don't like to write, do an oral journal. Don't worry about what the journal says. Don't worry about your grammar. Just journal. The longer you can journal before you look at it, the bigger the whisper, the bigger the answer. So then read it with no expectations. For example, when my grandmother passed, who I wasn't really close to because she's my mother's mother, and she treated my mother very poorly, but she had a good relationship with me. When she passed, I was journaling a lot. And about 3 months later, I went through the journals, and you know what I learned from the journals? My grandmother was the only person in my whole life that called me every week simply to ask me how I was doing.
Oh.
And that's what I miss. And so now I'll call people and say, I don't want anything. I just want to say, hey.
That's beautiful. Yes.
But I wouldn't have known that if I didn't journal.
Mm-hmm. You got that from
from what I wrote. I didn't even know that's what I was missing.
Yes. Yes.
But it told me.
So going beyond the whisper, since your book is Please Ask, What is the Secret of My Marriage? You also say marriage is not like a sitcom. Problems are solved in 45 minutes.
It isn't. People think if we're beefing or having a problem, 45 minutes, Melvin and I didn't resolve some things for 15 years. There was one thing that we didn't resolve till 33 years. And you know what that thing was? When Melvin would do something, he would say, it's not you, Tash. I said, how can it not be me? I'm your wife. I'm here. And one day he was walking in front of the TV. I said, oh my God, that had nothing to do with me. 33 years before it was hello in my, I heard him, but I didn't hear him. Mm-hmm. And I timed how long everything takes. I mean, we wasn't even cooking as a couple until 5 years.
So how did you handle being together and handling unresolved issues, which weren't going to get resolved until 15 or 20 years later. Because there is a way of sitting with an unresolved issue.
I didn't think it was unresolved. When he said, when he would say, "It's not you," and I go, "Yes, it is." That was the because one thing I learned in marriage, being right is overrated. So we let that right wrong stuff go. There's no such thing as right or wrong. It just is what it is. And if you get to is what it is, you'll make it. So he believed it wasn't me. I believed it was, but I knew he loved me, and we let it go.
I do think, though, the key is to what you said, which is knowing that our mate loves us, and then knowing that their intention is not to harm us.
Right. Intention is everything.
I because I've been a psychotherapist and specifically a marriage and family counselor for 32 years. And one of the things that always happens is people are trying to work at it. They come to therapy, they work at it and all of that. And there's one day that they wake up and they say, "That's it, I'm getting a divorce."
Right.
Like, what happened today that didn't happen yesterday or last week? Like, what was the breaking point? When is it that you just say, "That's it"? And many of those, Natasha, had been around the trust got broken.
Yep.
That you love me, and the trust got broken that you are intending to harm me now, and the intention in what you said was really to hurt me, and it's no longer that I trust that your intention is to keep me safe. And usually is exactly those pieces where they stop trying and they want to leave because now it's no longer safe, where before it was safe enough to stay and for me to try it out. But the minute that the place is no longer safe,
right,
they start thinking about, I got to move on. I got to, keep myself safe. I got to, survive out of this instead of survive in it. And that's exactly what my experience has been throughout these years with marriages.
Yeah, that's true. You got to feel safe. You got to feel safe. And even with my clients, the male part, I'm like, there's some of them that I've coached. I said, your tone is off, man. Practice with me. We'll have sessions where we'll just practice tone, because that tone from a woman's ears feels rough. Then talking to the guys is cool. Y'all scratch, y'all laugh. That's a good tone. It's not for us. A lot of them don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know their tone is everything.
Right. Yes.
And then I said, and if you keep talking to her with that tone, I know you don't mean any harm. She doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's hard.
It's very hard. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, and I think the worst part is what you said, that if the person doesn't know it, then they keep continuing to do it, and then they will get the consequences, and they're oblivious to the consequences of like, how did I do this? Well, many years of, that tone created it.
Right, right. And I didn't even know that as females, we were so tone sensitive, but I'm very tone sensitive. Mm-hmm. I'm so tone sensitive. And Melvin was saying, I didn't mean any harm, but I said, I can't take that tone. But I know you don't mean any harm. I know you don't intend to hurt me. Can you figure out how to say that again? But again, I tell people, like, we have biological clocks. Our marriage has a different clock. If we have a disagreement, Melvin's not going to be ready to talk about it for at least 48 hours. And I know it. I said, so some of these women like, I got to get it right now. I got to do it right now. And I said, no, my husband, I know it's 48 hours, and I know it's early in the morning, 4 a.m. to 8. We'll figure it out. So I figured that out a long time ago. It ain't happening at night. It's not happening at 10 a.m. You got to know the biological clock of your marriage.
That is the key. That is so true, that when you figure out the patterns that are just there, it makes my life much easier, versus again, goes into the turn into the spin. Instead of fighting it, go into really look at, monitor, become aware of what the pattern is, and go with the pattern that makes the best out of this.
And guess what? One day, Melvin and I got in, and on his way to work at 6 a.m., he called and apologized. I was like, is Guinness Book calling me today? Is this a world record? It's never happened before. Oh my God, is the world ended? It felt so good. I was thrown off. So it was so good though.
Yes, you got thrown off with by joy. Greatest way of getting thrown off. Now, Natasha, what do I call you, Tasha or Natasha?
That's fine.
Either or. What is the greatest challenge that you've had in your marriage?
Understanding me, because being raised by just one personality in one way, I didn't understand that coming off, I'm too direct.
Mm.
And a lot of women are like, honey, you're really, I'm not like that. Your feet stink. Fix it. That's how I talk. They don't want, I had to learn. That's not cool. And I don't do honey boo-boo stuff real good. I do now, but I didn't then. So I had to learn the honey boo-boo stuff. Oh, sweetie, you look so. And I told my husband, you look so cute. So I know how to do that now. I didn't at first. So that's a challenge for me.
Yeah. I know mine is that I get very passionate in conversation, and people think that I am like angry and yelling, and I have no anger in me at that moment. There's no experience of anger. I'm just passionate and going out and, being intense and this and that. And the person in front of me are like,
yeah. Especially this generation, this time, nobody can take intensity or directness.
Sometimes I'm like in the middle of my intensity, I look at their face and I'm like, I'm not angry. I'm just being intense. Don't worry about it. This is safe. And I try to create, and then I think that after a couple of times, they're like, okay, no, she's harmless. Okay, all right. And I get that even, when I train therapists and all of that. And in the middle of the supervision, I'm going at it with intensity. And they're like, ooh.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's okay. I'm safe. I'm just intense. Don't worry. I'm just intense.
No, I understand that. I love it.
I do get what you're saying, which is I got to get how I come across, and I got to become responsible about my impact on others. And then because they're relating with me the way they're relating, but if that's not how I intended to come across, then I need to be responsible for it. Now, either change it or at least warn people about it or let them know that they're safe.
And you know what I do now, especially talking to clients, I just warn them. Like, what I'm getting ready to say, I'm going to be because you need to know. I don't want you to think this is okay, but it's not about you. And, so I notice I do that more and they receive it better.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And what is in 43 years, as you've went with the spin, you create, you were responsible for how you were coming across. You weren't necessarily holding an entitlement, and kind of like as you were going along, you were finding what the next level is. A couple of things other than that I heard from you is like, drop the right and wrong. It is what it is. People are different. They're going to say what they're going to say, drop it for a while, and then, find it. And then also listen to your intuition and whisper to move forward. What is the reward that you've experienced through the 43 years as, you've practiced all of these and moved forward with your marriage?
I think the best thing is I have the kind of husband let me do whatever I want.
Nice.
I was like, Melvin, me and such going to Dubai to hang out, do a little business. You want to go? Most of the time he's like, no, Melvin, I want to go to the London Book Fair. Is that cool? Yeah, go ahead. I get to do what I want. Melvin, I'm going to start doing different podcasts. You want to go? No, that's all right, Tez. You go ahead. So when a lot of women like me who move up the ranks to the executive level, they got the thing of a man being jealous. Nah, I don't have that. I get to do what I want to do. And he has permission to say, go sit your tail down. You're doing too much. I go, I am? You've been working all day? Because I need somebody to tell me to stop. And so so that's the best thing. I can do what I want. And I said to my client today, think of many women that reached the level that I have that had the same husband all these years. They might have been married this many years, but with the same one husband. And I still like him, and he likes me.
That's the key. That's the key. Because I think you said at the beginning, I had a mother who loved me, but not necessarily liked me. And you say, I found the man who I like and he likes me. And there's a respect that is there, that we get to be who we are. And we that the other person, whomever they are, that is awesome. It's not a threat in any format to the marriage itself. So we get to be who we are. We get to promote who the other person is, and feel safe. And, at times even let them know what we think, and, sit your tail down or do all of that because it's to their benefit. That's why, not because of us or a power trip or, wanting to stop them, but it's actually for their benefit. And if it's a place that I take a stand for you, it's because it's to your benefit that I'm doing this. I'm taking care of you by taking that stand for you. Wonderful. All right, everybody. People ask, what is the secret of our 36-year marriage? Hello, it's 40 by Natasha Richburg.
Yes.
Yes. Why did you write the book?
Because people kept asking me, and I got tired of answering. That's why.
Go read it.
Kept asking. At that time, I was doing artist development, and so some of my artists would stay in my house. And one of the male artists, he said, "See, Natasha, your husband keeps his phones all over the house." I said, "I know. He will not keep them with him. And when they ring, we got to answer it." He said, "Men don't do that." I said, "They don't?" He says, "My parents were married this long and they don't act like you are." I said, "They don't?" I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know how people act in their house. He says, "No, people don't act like that." So that's what made me write it.
Awesome. Now you also write about there's a process of the IVF you went through. There's a lot of women right now and families.
Right.
IVF is not only about women; it's about the whole family going through this, and it's a tough process. I work with a lot of my clients, and it's a tough process. First, to make a choice to do that. The second is because it wasn't, they haven't, usually people start going through IVF because they think they can't do it themselves. So there's already like a lack and a shame, and, I'm not good enough, or I couldn't do it, or, I'm wounded, or, there's something wrong that I can't. So it starts somehow with that. And then there's all of this hormonal changes that you have to take. And then it really affects your body and your mood. And that mood affects not only the person, the whole marriage. And then there's also this, I don't know how many percentage really get that right at the first time and have success, but some people don't. They have to do this over and over and over again. And the toll that it has on your body, the toll that it has in your psyche, and the toll that it has on your finances every part of this is difficult. Can you share about yours, which I know, with your wisdom, have gone through it a different way?
Okay, this is my daughter, my oldest of the four, and it took her 4,718 days. That's 11 years before she ever got her first pregnancy test. She was married for 10 years, left that marriage because he was doing some stuff, but she really felt like, go on and have your life. I can't have children. She married somebody else. And on the day her IVF was successful, he said, "I don't want you or the baby."
Wow.
On the day. But I said, again, a God whisperer. I said, "Erica, you had to marry him because you worked in the Johns Hopkins system." And that husband said to her, "Well, go get it checked out." Her first husband was in the military, and she had gone to doctors all over the country. She went to Johns Hopkins, and that wonderful doctor figured it out the first time he did exploratory surgery, exactly what was wrong. He came out in the waiting room. He said to me, "Mother, her tubes were leaking. She will get pregnant. We removed them. It'll clear up, and she'll have to have IVF, but she will get pregnant." He was right. She did IVF 2 times after that, and she has 2 babies. After the first husband said, I don't want you or the baby, and we tell it all in a book. It's funny. It's not sad. It's a book that if you feel sad, you want to read it, and we tell you what to do. Because I made her understand the power of yet. Don't say I'm not pregnant yet. I can't have a baby yet. I made her say yet until it happened. And then the second book, we wrote about all of the dating she went through as she got sperm and had, because she wanted her baby to have a sibling. And it's still funny, and it gives you advice on what to do. So her first one is abandon guilt and absorb gladness, because you got to let go of the guilt of it. You didn't make your yet happen. Yet it's just your yet.
Yet is still your yet. What is it that we haven't touched upon that you really want everybody to know?
I just want everybody to know, if you Google see Natasha Richburg, we got podcasts, we got books, and one of the things about life, and you can see with me, everything I do, I find a silver lining. We talk about the silver lining. With my daughter's book, she wrote it from her journal, and I kind of buffed it up to make it sound, funny. And then sometimes she said, Mommy, that's too much, and I would have to take stuff out. But I always wanted to put some humor in the books and humor in our stories, along with the hardship associated with. And just remember, if you're struggling in your marriage, do you still trust him? Does he still mean well? If so, you cooking with gas. Just get into therapy. You'll be all right.
And what you said is important, because the humor, if you don't have humor, life isn't really funny. So put in humor in it. It really lightens it up. And then, so a couple of things, everybody. Humor, listen to the whisper, and spin into it.
Yeah, spin into it. Don't let negative things make you go the way. Just lean into it, and it'll be all right.
And remember, your marriage is not a sitcom that will complete it in 45 minutes.
That's right. It is not.
How can people find you beyond Googling you?
You can go to www.cnatashaproductions.com. cnatashaproductions.com, and everything is there.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time to being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was wonderful.
It's a joy to have you here. And for all of you who are here with us, create an amazing life for yourself and everyone around you. And until next week, bye-bye.
Are you a psychotherapist looking to enhance your practice? The Awareness Integration Therapy, developed by Dr. Foojan Zeine, is a comprehensive guide to the principle and techniques of this powerful therapeutic approach. Join the growing community who have elevated their practice and expanded their skills by embracing Awareness Integration Therapy and witnessing its life-changing impact. Order your copy on Amazon now.